Johnny Gargano and Kyle O'Reilly give an off-air farewell to NXT. Plus, an AEW star deletes their Twitter account, and we've got more juicy details on WWE 2K22's GM mode. It's back, baby. About last night, NXT 2.0, rather fun last night.
Yeah,
fun show last night. War Games Fallout, and we had there was some very distinctive moments in here. We had Kyle O'Reilly losing to Von Wagner in a steel cage match, and we had Johnny Gargano come out to say a farewell to NXT. He says in his farewell speech, "I don't know what my immediate future holds. That's up in the air right now still. I may do some things here and there, but I do know one thing for sure, and that's in February I'm going to start the most important job of my life because I'm going to be a dad." And shortly after this, Grayson Waller turns up to spoil the party with a steel chair, beats up Gargano, throws him into the steel steps, power bombs him through the announce table, declaring this is his house now.
Well, so, if you're going to leave to start a family, forsaking your career, Johnny.
Selfishly.
Yeah, selfish. God.
But what really was interesting was what happened when the cameras went off, where we had Shawn Michaels coming out along with Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae. Tommaso Ciampa came out as well. A very, very emotional Johnny Gargano taking all the time in the world to sit in the ring with Tommaso Ciampa and pose with his old DIY teammate, shake hands with fans in the crowd, hug everybody. And Kyle O'Reilly was out there as well. And again, some very emotional scenes from Kyle O'Reilly. He was shaking hands, signing stuff. Kyle O'Reilly got into the ring and kissed the canvas.
Ooh, kissing it goodbye.
Yeah, or maybe he just likes the taste of it. Who knows?
Yeah, it's salty.
It's salty after all that wrestling. And there's pictures that emerge online of this sort of after show farewell where we see Gargano and Kyle O'Reilly and Shawn Michaels all hugging each other. It all very much feels like a so long farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye. Now, for Kyle O'Reilly, he was very clearly written off in that steel cage match on telly. Like Von Wagner beat him, and now it's a very old school thing to do, to lose to the next prospect on your way out.
I've seen that's what people are kind of writing this up as. Like he's given back a bit there by doing that. But I don't know. We're just going to have to see what's going to happen next, because Johnny's got, family obligations to deal with, so he's likely going to be away for a little while.
Yeah.
He's signed a little extension, as you said, but
that runs out this week.
Well,
from what we know,
I guess only time will tell. But maybe we'll see Johnny Gargano back in NXT before he moves on. But I wouldn't be surprised if he just starts popping up, doing random indie dates before he lands somewhere when he's got more time career-wise.
What they've done here is they've left the door open for both guys. For Kyle,
they've just put a pin in it, haven't they?
Yeah, that's it. But if neither come back, then they've kind of gone out the right way, like with O'Reilly losing decisively to Von Wagner, and for Johnny Gargano being beaten up by Grayson Waller, who's taking the lead in that. But I think when you look at the landscape of the way things are now, I think Johnny Gargano is probably the most likely to come back at this point.
Yeah, I can see Gargano being moved up to the main roster. There'd have to be a lot of assurances, of course, but Gargano, I think, would still fit in with NXT 2.0 as, one of the older veteran type characters if they're wanting to have that as they move forward. But NXT 2.0 is still very young, of course. It's still evolving week by week as we watch it. And so we haven't quite settled into a firm rhythm yet, I'd argue. So we might start to see more older faces pop back up. And I mean, we saw that anyway, didn't we?
We did indeed, which we'll talk a little bit more about at another point. But certainly for Gargano and O'Reilly, like you say, Gargano could easily just be that sort of that veteran name there. And then you mentioned the call-up, and I stand by kind of what I feel. Like, whilst the main roster is for some people, some people have been made on the main roster. I don't personally see Gargano being one of those people that's made on the main roster. There's people like Roman Reigns.
He doesn't need to be made, though. He's already made.
Yeah, exactly.
So, he can go up to the main roster, and, if it was the case that was what he was going to do, Yeah, maybe he's not going to have quite the legs he had in NXT because of the kind of lay of the land up there, but at the same time, I don't think he'd fare too badly, but that might be me just kind of being a little bit too optimistic about it.
I just feel like for Gargano, and I said this in the video yesterday and I stand by it, I feel like for Gargano and O'Reilly that their talent should lie in other places, and that isn't necessarily a dig on WWE, because as I said, that system works brilliantly for many. Like I couldn't imagine Bron Breakker going anywhere other than the main roster, because that absolutely will fit for him. But for O'Reilly and Gargano, I don't see that system working for them, and it's good for some and not good for others.
Look, there's a wide world of wrestling. Wherever they end up, whatever they end up doing, they're still going to put on amazing matches, so we should just be happy for them.
Oh, baby, baby, it's a wild world of wrestling. AEW news. Jade Cargill's off Twitter now.
Yes, so Jade Cargill confirmed that she was done with Twitter after her account disappeared. People were a bit like, oh, has it been hacked? Has it been taken down? What's happening? But she took to Instagram, and on her stories she said, I was spending way too much time on social, and one of my social apps had to go. And I think we're all kind of getting there,
We had a great chat about this, you and I,
Yeah.
on the Classic Nitro review on the podcast feed.
Yeah, I'm all about kind of I get terrified at the level of data rights and the level of data that they take from you and everything. But in terms of, if you take all that out of the equation, it's still, whenever you go on social media, it's fiercely toxic. I mean, Christ, it's like, Sam, you're fat. Tom, I don't like how happy you are.
You're also fat.
It's like, it's just people come after you for everything, everything online, and it just gets to a point where you are just in this loop, this feedback loop, and because of the data it knows about you, it's just showing you things it knows are going to either rile you up, that you're going to engage with, or things you're going to buy, or it's eavesdropping on your conversations to sell you things. I don't blame people for getting rid of their social media. I really don't.
I come very close every day to just deleting mine. Every day now.
I'm sort of toying with the idea of using it less, but I always manage to get about 2 weeks in, and then I kind of back off. But I've cut down on Instagram and stuff, which maybe I'd prefer to use Instagram over Twitter, but yeah, we're just in this weird dystopic future anyway.
Yeah,
let's just go along for the ride, I guess. Eat the Soylent Green, Tom. Eat the Soylent Green.
I've been told to stop eating Soylent Green. That man on Twitter said I was fat. Fine, Alamar. Let's move over to the world of video games where things make much more sense. 2K22.
It's crazy that is actually a fact now, but yes, 2K22.
It's coming out next year. Whatever shape the roster will be, I don't know. We've heard a few things about the roster. They are rushing to get as many NXT 2.0 guys in the game as possible, and as I'm sure we are aware,
they've got a queue, they've got the laser scanner, they're just running them through it, and all their faces are just going to be like blurred.
Well, they've just recolored like John Morrison to make him look like Von Wagner.
It makes sense though. Even if they hadn't done so many releases, you'd expect them to do 2.0 as maybe a DLC, because these are the future of the company. They want people to engage with them. They want people to play on 2K22 as Bron Breakker for sure. They've got to, because I
got him on 2K19.
Yeah,
I like playing as Bron Breakker.
People are gonna want to engage with that, and I feel that given the fact that they have callously cut so many staff, they need to fill that roster out, because when that game drops, it's going to be like, yeah, it's 60 quid, mate. What's on it? 6 wrestlers, 4 different types of shorts. You have 5 different faces to choose from, and 3 hairstyles.
Maybe they'll do what they did with No Mercy that time, and just have all the storyline bits filled in by Steven Richards.
Maybe.
On the big thing for 2K22 this year, not so much the roster, but GM mode is coming back, and there's a lot of people very excited about it.
Oh yeah,
I'm very excited about this. Smack Talks did a video on this, and they reveal that players can expect to draft superstars, book matches, manage contracts, and prove you have what it takes to run the most successful branded sports entertainment. In My GM, you progressively work your way from running shows in high school gyms to primetime telly. So this is the big thing here. Like,
who wants primetime TV? Get to like a mid-sized venue and call it quits.
That's it.
Start a VOD service. Get to a point where people just can't. You're turning people away. Just make bank.
That's it.
PWG.
But this is what I like about the My GM mode. Whereas before it was just like run the rosters. This time you've got the option to run small indies.
I like that.
like
Yeah,
that.
and it kind of teaches you a lot about the world of wrestling promotion because that is where you begin. That's where Vince's daddy began. It's where everybody begins, small venues, and you end up, in stadiums. So it's going to be exciting. I've been burned so many times by 2K, and
this time will be different.
This is it. It's like I keep going back to them, like expecting to have some level of change, and I'm gently hopeful about 2K22, especially with the year off. But at the same time, I'm sort of a bit like, ooh, am I maybe getting my hopes up a little bit too much? So
either the thing is, like, it's looking at the positives in all circumstances in life.
Yeah.
We are either going to get a far improved WWE video game experience, or we're going to get a brilliant What Happened video from Matt McMuscles. Both are good.
Plus all of the potential, gifts for glitches and everything.
There's that as well. We're going to get all those things. It could be a happy time for all. More news as we get it at cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.